All right, Flour Purifier Operators in the making. Are you ready?
Ready to dive deep into interview prep? I know I am.
Me too. And let me tell you, we've got some seriously good stuff to unpack today.
Sure.
We're talking career guides, in-depth interview guides, even a sneak peek at how RoleCatcher's AI can be your secret weapon.
Seriously, this is going to be good.
Okay, so let's just jump right into it, all right? Imagine you're sitting there in the interview and the hiring manager says, what inspired you to pursue this Flour Purifier Operator career? Sounds simple, right?
Yeah, but there's definitely more to it than meets the eye.
Totally. So what's the hiring manager really trying to figure out here?
Well, they want to see that spark, that genuine interest. This role, it's the heart of the food industry, making sure the flour and everything from bread to cakes is top-notch.
So like it seemed like an easy job. Probably not the best answer.
Definitely not the vibe. Think about what drew you to this. Maybe you've always loved how food is made, or you enjoy working with machinery, or maybe you have family history in the industry.
Yeah, let that passion shine through.
Exactly. Give them something real, something personal. Like, uh, I've always been fascinated by the journey from raw ingredients to the food we eat every day. And when I discovered the Flour Purifier Operator role, it just clicked. It's such a crucial part of that process, and I love the challenge of ensuring quality and consistency.
Ooh, I like that. And you know what? RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you fine-tune those answers. You can save the question in the app and get AI feedback to make sure you're hitting all the right notes. Pretty cool, huh?
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
All right, next question. The interviewer says, okay, tell me how you ensure the quality of the flour during the purification process. Now we're talking specifics.
This is where you show off your expertise. Walk them through your process, the checks and balances, all those details that make a difference.
So don't just say, I make sure it looks good.
Right. Dive deeper. Mention monitoring the particle size, using those sifters to remove impurities, checking the moisture levels.
Ooh, I see what you mean. For instance, you could say, I'm trained to follow a strict quality control protocol. That includes everything from inspecting the raw wheat to using special equipment to monitor the flour at each stage of purification. And of course, regular tests to ensure it meets all the specifications.
Perfect. You're demonstrating your expertise and that meticulous attention to detail. And don't forget, if any technical terms trip you up, RoleCatcher has these awesome skill guides to help you brush up.
Oh, those are so helpful. All right, question number 3. The interviewer asks, so how do you troubleshoot issues that pop up during the flour purification process? Because let's be honest, machines have a mind of their own sometimes.
Totally. And this is where you show off those problem-solving skills. Think about it. They want someone who can stay calm, think logically, and find solutions when things get tricky.
So not, oh no, the machine broke. I give up.
Not quite. Walk them through your process. First I do this, then I check that. Paint a picture of your approach. Like when something goes wrong, my first step is to pinpoint the source. Is it the equipment? Are the process parameters off? Once I've isolated the issue, I try to resolve it. And if I can't, I immediately report it to my supervisor, explaining everything I've already tried.
Love it. Initiative, but also knowing when to get help. And you know what makes an answer even stronger? Real-life example, sharing a time you successfully troubleshooted something, boom, instant credibility.
And speaking of credibility, RoleCatcher's video tool is a game changer for these kinds of questions. You can record yourself, see how you come across, and even get AI feedback on your delivery and content. Seriously, it's like having a personal coach.
Okay, question number 4 is all about safety. The interviewer asks, how do you maintain a safe working environment during the flour purification process? Safety always comes first.
Right on. They need to know you understand the potential hazards and are serious about following all the safety protocols.
So it's not just about knowing the rules, it's about living them.
Exactly. You could say something like, a safe work environment is my top priority. I'm always on top of safety guidelines, wearing my PPE masks, gloves, the whole shebang to protect myself from all that flour dust. I regularly check the equipment for any wear and tear, and I never hesitate to report any safety concerns to my supervisor.
It's all about being proactive. And let's face it, a flour mill can be a noisy and dusty place. So showing that you take safety seriously is super important.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to question number 5. They ask, how do you maintain the equipment used in the flour purification process? Now we're getting technical.
Time to show off those mechanical skills.
Think about the specifics. Cleaning, lubrication, inspections, what tools you use, what steps do you take to keep everything in tip-top shape.
Right. So instead of I keep the machines clean, you could say I make sure to clean those sifters regularly to prevent any blockages. I also follow the manufacturer's guidelines for lubrication, and I do daily inspections to catch any potential issues early on.
Excellent. You're demonstrating your understanding of the equipment, and that preventative maintenance is key. And hey, if you need a refresher on any of those technical details, remember those RoleCatcher skill guides.
They're a lifesaver.
Yeah.
All right, question number 6 brings us back to quality control. The interviewer asks, how do you ensure that the flour meets the required specifications? It's all about those details.
Think about the specific tests, the ones that really reveal the quality of the flour. Do you measure protein content? Check for moisture levels? Analyze particle size?
It's about having that deep understanding of how to assess quality at every stage.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to showcase that knowledge. You could say something like, throughout the entire purification process, I use specialized equipment to measure things like protein content, moisture level, and even the particle size distribution. I carefully record those results and make sure they align with the established standards to ensure consistency and quality every time.
Boom. That shows you're methodical and dedicated to meeting those high standards.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And before we move on, remember how we mentioned RoleCatcher's AI can give you feedback on your answers. It's not just generic advice, it's tailored to the specific requirements of this job.
Seriously, the level of personalization is amazing. It can make all the difference in your preparation.
Okay, one more question before we take a breather. The interviewer asks, tell me about your experience operating a flour purifier machine. This one seems straightforward, right?
It might seem simple, but it's your chance to truly showcase your experience. Don't just list the facts, tell a story. What machines have you worked with? What were some challenges you faced? What did you learn along the way?
Yeah, make it come alive. If you've operated different models or brands, mention that. It shows you're versatile.
Definitely. And if you've ever dealt with a tricky situation like a malfunction, share how you handled it.
Right. Those real-life examples stick with people and show you can handle the pressure.
They do. And you know what else is great for this type of question? RoleCatcher's video practice tool. Record yourself, get feedback on your delivery, and really polish your response.
So smart.
It is. All right, we've tackled 7 key interview questions. You're already well on your way to impressing that hiring manager.
Absolutely. But we're not done yet. We've got more essential questions to cover, valuable career insights to explore, and even more ways RoleCatcher can help you beyond the interview. So stay tuned for part 2.
Okay, are you ready for more?
Always. Hit me with those interview questions.
All right, question number 8. The interviewer asks, so, how do you prioritize tasks during the flour purification process? What's your strategy?
Ooh, this is about more than just running the machines.
Exactly. It's about organization, about juggling those responsibilities and keeping everything moving smoothly even when things get crazy.
Like a flour-powered juggling act.
Kind of. Think about the whole process, the flow. What needs your attention first? What absolutely can't wait? You could say something like, well, my top priority is always ensuring a smooth purification process and keeping that flour quality top-notch. So I start by thoroughly checking the equipment, making sure everything is within the right parameters. Then I focus on the flow of the flour through the system, taking care of any issues that pop up and documenting everything carefully.
Nice. You're showing them you understand the big picture and the little details, and maybe even mention using checklists or systems to stay super organized.
Those are great points. The more specific you are, the better. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback comes in handy. Save this question in your library. Get that AI analysis tailored to the job description.
It's like having a personalized cheat sheet.
It really is. All right, on to the last question in this set. They ask, what measures do you take to prevent contamination during the flour purification process? Food safety is no joke.
Absolutely. You don't want any unwanted surprises in that flour.
Exactly. This question is all about showing you understand hygiene and cleanliness inside and out. Think about your whole approach to preventing contamination, from personal hygiene to equipment sanitation to controlling the environment.
So it's not just about cleaning up messes, it's about preventing them in the first place.
You got it. You want to show them you're proactive.
Yeah.
A strong answer could be something like, preventing contamination is my absolute priority. I'm super strict about personal hygiene, washing hands, wearing clean gear, the whole 9 yards. I make sure all the equipment is cleaned and sanitized regularly, following the procedures to the letter. and I'm always on the lookout for any signs of pests or contamination, whether it's in the raw materials or the environment itself.
Now you're talking. You're showing them you're a food safety champion.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you need a refresher on those specific food safety guidelines, RoleCatcher's knowledge guides are a lifesaver.
Oh, yeah, those are amazing. They've got you covered on all the details. And don't forget, if you're a little nervous about this question, practice with RoleCatcher's video tool. See how you come across. Get that AI feedback. It's a game changer.
Okay, so we've crushed all 9 interview questions from the guide. But you know what? Landing the job is just the beginning.
So true. It's all about the bigger picture, the long-term career goals.
And the career guide we've got here, it really emphasizes the importance of continuous learning and networking, especially in a field like this where technology is always changing.
It's crucial, whether it's taking online courses, going to industry conferences, or even just keeping up with trade publications. Staying current makes you a more valuable asset.
It's like leveling up your skills.
Exactly. And networking, don't underestimate that. Connecting with other professionals, going to events, being part of online forums, you never know what opportunities might come up.
The guide also suggests building a portfolio to showcase those skills and experience.
What a great idea. It's like a tangible way to show off what you've accomplished, what you bring to the table.
You could include things like project reports, any process improvements you've worked on, or even documentation of those times you successfully troubleshooted something.
It's like saying, hey, look what I can do.
Right. And guess what? RoleCatcher can help you build and manage that portfolio too. It's amazing. Now, remember that whole trend we talked about, the increasing demand for organic and gluten-free flours?
Oh, yeah. Consumers are all about healthier, more sustainable choices these days.
So if you can show you understand these trends and how to work with these special flours, you're golden.
Absolutely. It ties right into the specialisms section of the career guide, that whole idea of focusing on a particular niche within the field.
So even within the role of a Flour Purifier Operator, there are ways to stand out, to become an expert in a specific area.
It's about finding what really excites you.
Exactly. So as you're getting ready for this interview, think about those long-term goals. What impact do you want to have on the food industry? What areas of flour purification really get you fired up?
Those are some great questions to ponder. And remember, RoleCatcher can help you explore those different paths. It's got that awesome career compass tool that shows you transferable skills, related roles you might not have thought of, and helps you map out a future that aligns with your dreams.
It's like having a personal career counselor. Now, before we wrap up, there's one more piece of advice from the Getting Started section I want to highlight. It suggests getting hands-on experience however you can. Internships, job shadowing, even volunteering at food banks or similar places.
That's such valuable advice. Even if it's not directly in a flour mill, any experience in the food industry gives you those real-world insights.
And it gives you stories to tell during your interview to make your experience come alive.
So true. It shows initiative, passion, that genuine interest that hiring managers love to see. And guess what? RoleCatcher can even help you find those opportunities. It's like a one-stop shop for your career journey.
Welcome back, everyone. It's the final stretch of our deep dive into becoming a Flour Purifier Operator. We've gone through those tough interview questions, explored all those career paths, and even talked about some pretty exciting industry trends. But before we send you off to totally rock that interview, let's take a minute to think about the bigger picture.
That's so key. It's easy to get lost in the details of prepping for the interview, but it's really important to remember why you're doing this. What are your goals? What kind of impact do you want to make?
I love that.
Yeah.
And this is where I think RoleCatcher is such a game changer. It goes beyond just practicing answers. It helps you take the reins of your career and steer it in the direction you want to go.
Their career compass tool, it's like magic. You can explore all these different paths in food production, see which skills you can use in other roles, discover jobs you might not have even known existed, and basically map out a future that's in sync with your passions.
Like a GPS, but for your career.
Yeah.
And remember how we talked about continuous learning?
Absolutely. The food industry never stands still. There are always new technologies, new processes, new trends popping up. You gotta stay ahead of the game if you want to move up.
So make it a habit. Take those online courses, go to those workshops, read those industry magazines, whatever it takes to keep learning and growing. It's an investment in yourself, and it's worth it.
It definitely is. And networking, that's huge too. Build relationships with other people in the field. It can lead to all sorts of opportunities. Plus, you get valuable insights and stay inspired.
Okay, are you ready for that final thought-provoking point I promised?
Lay it on me.
Remember that specialism section we discussed? Well, it made me realize that as a future Flour Purifier operator, you could specialize in some really interesting areas.
Yeah, it's not just about being good at everything, it's about finding your niche, what you're truly passionate about.
Exactly. Imagine being the expert in organic flour production, or knowing everything there is to know about gluten-free processing, or even diving deep into the world of ancient grains.
And with technology evolving so rapidly, you could even specialize in running and maintaining those super advanced automated systems.
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. That's what makes this career so exciting. You're not just operating a machine, you're actually part of something bigger, something that's shaping the future of food.
So as you head into that interview, remember that. Show them your passion, your knowledge, your willingness to learn and grow. And don't forget, RoleCatcher has your back every step of the way, giving you the resources and support to build an amazing, fulfilling career.
And that's a wrap on our Flour Purifier Operator deep dive.
Mm.
Go out there, ace that interview, and embrace the power of flour.